Take the compliment and being pregnant.
Great.
Really? I love a good ulterior motive. Okay, honey.
All right. All right, we back again, reading The Art of Passing the Buck. And hold on a second, I want to get the TikTok stream up and going, and then we'll start our reading.
I think it was love. Okay, well, let's just say we hit a few bumps during the screening process.
That shit is over with.
Nervous?
She ain't loaded.
Okay, well then, stop it. How's that for
To be you.
Yeah.
I've been playing violin for my family at Christmas Island before we from crowds is nurses.
Yeah.
Sure you might be better off than me back over tonight.
Yeah, because Marcy's basic professional is what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
There's been no pressures on you. I think all that really don't you?
Ladies,
Thank you. Hey, how much work did it take to convince Trina to sing tonight?
all I had to say was that she has an incredible gift, and it would be a waste not to share with the world.
More like a bunch of people.
All right, I think, we're good. We're good with the mic on here. All right, so we're on TikTok and we're on the YouTube. Looks like,
No, I found this all my way.
can you? I can't even tell. Oh no, there's no little mic. All right, so it looks like
Families to work together.
I'm good on YouTube too.
Unfortunately, about that. Apparently she's okay.
Really? Well, good for her.
All right, so we're going back to where we left off at, which was only a couple pages in.
Does Stella have a plan to separate the ministry here?
Well, I did that last week.
Hi, what are you doing here?
You two have been keeping something from me.
Hold on a second.
Thank you. I'll be right over to check in. Please stay out.
All right, so we were reading, just to pick up where we left off, we were reading about how the trust works.
I'm starting on the way out. They complete our
And they went to break it down and give us some examples of exactly how a trust works. And they gave us some vocabulary. I believe the two words were revocable and irrevocable, which my suggestion to the person reading is change it to something you can remember if that word doesn't stick in your head. So I changed it to changeable and not changeable. So there's two types: changeable, not changeable trust. And then the major other two categories were a living trust, or something that happens when you're alive, and then an unalive trust that will kick in the moment you stop living. But both of those are different types of trust. And let's see where else we at. Yeah, that was pretty much it. And they were telling us how it works. What is a trust was the first part, and then they were telling us how the trust works, and they gave us some diagrams. So I think I'm on. Okay. So we did a revocable and a revocable or grantor trust. And then we're going to start up here with irrevocable. So the grantor can establish an irrevocable trust at any time during his or her life. Once he or she places funds into the trust, that person no longer owns them. Oh, I feel like I read this before. Yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah. All right, let me jump down then to general summary of the trust basics. The grantor puts his or her assets into the trust, and either a grantor acting as a trustee or the trustee then invests the funds. When there is a payout of investments, the funds go directly into the trust bank account where they are distributed to the beneficiaries. In a revocable trust, the beneficiary or beneficiaries is the grantor. In an irrevocable trust, the beneficiaries are usually children and or close relatives of the grantor. In both cases, a percentage of the profits can be reinvested. The, okay, the following section about divided title and the U.S. Constitution is for those of you who want to explore the subject of trust mechanics and definitions more deeply. For those for those who feel you are not ready for more details about the mechanics of inheritance and would like to move on to more friendly presentation, please go to chapter 3. What? All right, I'm not skipping nothing. I don't want the friendly version. I want to know all the information, so I'm going to keep reading. In chapter 3, we discuss what might be like if you were a member of a strong trust group which offered both financial security and ample mentoring. The support described mostly applies in an irrevocable private trust, where trustees may personally interact with and be attentive to the beneficiaries. Here you will discover why those with enough funds are more likely to be successful. When you feel more comfortable with the ideas of inheritance, we invite you to return to this chapter to read this key information. See, that don't make sense to me. Why would I go somewhere else when this is the key information? That don't make sense to me. So I'm gonna just keep reading. I'm not skipping around. Um,
That's not making.
yeah, the mic is going off with grounded in the background, so I hope this is not being recorded. I hope y'all can not hear her yelling at the television. That would kind of mess up the reading, but we'll see when we play it back. All right. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna stay right on here. We ain't jumping nowhere. Divided title and the U.S. Constitution. The fundamental feature of any trust is the division of full title, complete ownership of a particular property into legal title, technical ownership, and equitable title, the beneficial right to possess and use the particular property. So this right here, this is where, like I said before, when they give you a bunch of words